Hello everyone, a very good morning, good afternoon and good evening to all of the viewers from around the world. This is your host Vaibhav. In today's session of JForex Indicator Explained, we will be looking at the concept, the uses, the customization options, what are some of the ways in which we can utilize this indicator to take advantage of the price dynamics in the market. This is a well-known indicator, and if you have been in market for some time, you might have, of course, heard about it. And if not, then worry not. This session is just for you. And even if you have used it, you can always find more ways to use this. So the indicator's name is Relative Strength Index, which is popularly known as RSI. This is a well-known indicator, and that's why I said if you have been in market for some time, then definitely you might have heard about it. So let us now head to the JForex 4 platform, the newly released trading platform from the Dukascopy Bank SA. This is the Euro USD chart with the candle break defined at hourly time frame. Now for finding this indicator, all you have to do is do a quick search. If you type in RSI, then you will have it, Relative Strength Index. Else, if you want to know where it is listed, then it is amongst the momentum indicator. This is a oscillator which gives us the idea of the strength of the trend as well as the direction of the trend. We get to know on which side the momentum is prevalent. If it is bullish or bearish, we can get to know about that, as well as we can get to know how long this trend has been on the same side and if it is currently overbought or oversold. So that kind of useful information can also be gathered simply looking at its output value. So you will find this indicator listed among these momentum indicator just below the rate of change ratio 100 scale. So here it is, relative strength index. All right. Now, coming to its concept, the concept is simple. It takes into consideration the average price gains over the given time horizon and the average losses over the same time horizon. Its formula is simple, and if you want the exact formula, you will of course have to do a bit of search on internet, and you will easily get it. And here we will be more concerned with its uses, the concept. So as I said, we look at what are the gains. If suppose for example out of 14 days there have been gains of around 8 days and remaining 6 days have been in losses, then we consider what are the average gains. So whatever are the gains over those last 8 days are averaged out, and if we have losses for 6 days, then those losses are averaged out. So we get a ratio which is then utilized to get a value which is going to be in between 0 on the lower side and 100 on the higher side. So if there have been more loss making candle periods during the calculation period, then we will have this output value of the RSI below 50, and if it has more gains compared to the losses, then we will have the output above 50. And also if recent average gains are more than the prior gains, then we will have this indicators output on the rise. And if we have the recent losses more than the prior losses, then we will have this output dipping further into the negative territory. And as I said, we also get to know if the momentum has entered into a overbought or oversold scenario. The extremes reached after considerable amount of move has already happened in the instrument of our choice. So for that, we can simply look at this output value. The 30 on the lower side and 70 on the higher side is considered as the extreme price levels. These are the price levels above which or below which we consider these scenarios which are likely to give way for possible trend reversal. But of course, it is not going to happen every single time. But the possibility of consolidation or the trend reversal is quite high on those time frames, and that's why we utilize this indicator to look for this reversal from those highs, those and if we have seen this oversold scenario, then if we look at this price action data in today's session, we had the RSI reaching below 30, and after consolidation we saw this reversal from these levels. So this kind of price reversals can also be detected or can be tried to be taken advantage of using these indicator. So these are multi-purpose indicator. You can use it to look at the trend as well as the strength of the trend. So the simple interpretation is that if we have the crossover from below 50 to above 50, that is indicative of the momentum shifting from bearish to bullish, and if we have the crossover from above 50 to below 50, then that is indicative of the momentum now starting to turn bearish. But if there is only consolidation going on and if we don't really have any significant move in either direction, then we will have this kind of scenario where for 1 hour we will have the output above 50 and for next hour we will have the output below 50. So to avoid this kind of scenarios, we of course have to pay close attention to these price action data along with the RSI output value, and only if there are significant price reversal accompanied by this indication on the RSI output, then only I think we should try to get involved for the new trade. So we can avoid some noise, which is the case with any indicator. So for RSI also, we will have some false signals generated if it is in consolidation phase. And similarly, on oversold and overbought scenarios also, suppose if we take this case in today's session, the RSI reached this oversold territory, then we saw this turnaround and not exact turnaround but consolidation and some gains. So we saw the RSI output again rising, starting to rise on the higher side, but those gains were short lived and we are again seeing dip in the euro USD's price action. So we have to be careful. This indicator is not going to give you signals which are going to be profitable all the time, but we get to know the idea of the momentum. We can utilize this indicator to look at the price trajectory and know that if we are on the side of the trend, then we are likely to be on the profitable side, though the probability is going to be higher. And similarly, and if we accompany the signals generated by these RSI indicator along with other indicators or other pricing mechanism, simply using the price action data, I feel the probability of making money will be a lot higher. All right, so now let us consider the editing options which are available to us. So we can take the help of these applied prices while determining the RSI indicator, and we will have slight deviation in the output value depending on what kind of applied price we are using for this indicator. So if you try applying these different prices, you will observe that this graph of the RSI shifts to some extent. Same principle applies for the calculation period also. If you want the indicator to be more responsive, then you need the indicator to be calculated of the shorter time horizon. But if you want higher reliability, then in that case you need to elongate this calculation period. But because of that, the lag is also going to be higher. We will have considerable lag in the signal generated by this indicator. But whenever there is a significant price reversal, that reversal is likely to continue for some more time. So we can utilize that stabilization factor for further gains and expect the trend reversal which has happened on the larger time frame to prevail for larger time as well, and that gives you the freedom to continue to trade for with the same trend for larger amount of time unless there is a significant price reversal on those price levels. So here now I have increased the RSI's calculation period to 21, and as a result of that, the smoothing is a lot more. We are seeing that the extreme values, the 30 on the lower side and 70 on the higher side, are being reached quite less frequently, and that is expected as we have increased this calculation period, and as a result of that, larger pricing data is being considered while calculating these RSI output. Now I will restore it back to 14. Coming to the output, the trend up and trend down, we can change the color. We can go for some brighter shades here. We can go for different styling options. We can increase or decrease the weight. We can play around with these transparency option. So all these is possible with the customization options provided to you. Then we have some more options. If you want to use these two levels only, 30 and 70, then we have these two levels already plotted. And suppose, for example, if you want to add 50 as one more marker to simply look at the pricing data and trend change from one side to another, you can utilize that as well. You can add it. You can add any level, any output level to appear as a crucial marker on this chart. So it's always up to you. You can modify this indicator in ways you feel is likely to grow more profitable. Coming to the advanced editing options, we get to opt for these various options. We can opt in or opt out of these options. If you want the output value of this RSI to remain constant throughout the current candle period, then you have to opt in for this. In this scenario, the RSI output is going to remain constant throughout the current candle period. Here we have this RSI output which is now going to remain the same even though the applied price will keep fluctuating throughout the current candle period. So that's how this option works. Highlight the time period zone. If you want to get the time period zone highlighted, then you have to opt in for this. So that makes your job easier. You get to know what is your calculation period much more easily, even without looking at the default setup parameters. If you want to customize these calculation further, then you get these three choices where you can use the instrument, the candle period and the spread side to be used from the chart. Or if you don't want to use it from the chart, then you can specify it. So in that scenario, it will work. This indicator will be plotted only for the given instrument, and if you want this to be the case for the candle period also. Suppose if you want the calculation to be done only on the 15-minute candle period regardless of what is the chart's candle period, then you can do that as well. So you get this option here as well. Here the RSI is being calculated using the candle period of 15 minutes even though the chart's candle period is of hourly time frame. So we get these additional customization options in these advanced editing tools. Now I will restore it back to use from the chart. Depending on the spread side you're using, ask or bid, there is going to be slight difference in these output parameter. If you want the indicator to be available on all the candle periods, then you have to opt in for this. And else, if you opt out of it, then you have to specify on which time frame this indicator should appear. Now here we have specified hourly and 5 minutes. So only on those two time frames, the RSI indicator will be plotted. But suppose, for example, I change it to 10 minutes or for that matter, 4 hours or any other candle period apart from 5 minutes and hourly, we won't have this RSI plotted for us. So for different time frames, you can go for different indicators. So this option is really handy when you want to utilize multiple indicators on different time frames to understand what is actually going on and try to collect all those data points and then make a informed trading decision. So that's how this setup works. Now I will restore it back to show indicator on all periods. The base period can be any of these five options, but we are not really observing any significant impact even though I am changing this base period for all these five options. So this option is not making any changes to the output parameters. The base period generally impacts some of the indicators, not all the indicators. So in this case, the base period is not a customization option which is available to us. So guys, that's it from my side for today's session. If you have any query or any idea to share, you can write back to me in the feedback section, and I would be more than happy to take the discussion forward. For further coverage of the market developments, do check out the Dukascopy Analytics page. We are also available on the Facebook. You can reach out to us there too. I'll be back tomorrow with a new indicator, new explanation, new concept, new users. Everything will be new. So do come back. And also, I have included it in the bio the link for the newly released JForex platform. So give it a try and let me know how it works out for you. That's all from my side. Thank you all for joining in. Goodbye.